The FAD series, the fashion and design, conversations have attracted a lot of viewership. I must at the outset thank you all for being patient listeners to this conversation. This particular episode is going to address a very large audience, especially since our country has more than 430 million youth between the age group of 18 to 45. It will be appropriate if some more people see this and get inspired to be part of the 44th World Skills Competition, which is coming up in October in Abu Dhabi, which should be attended, which should have more participation from India. Now, World Skills, is a movement, you can say, an international movement, where industry, the government, the youth, the participants, the contestants, everybody gets together to create a new platform which creates social competencies, skilled competitors, and more capable people for the industry, raising the bar as we go along. How did this World Skills come about? World Skills came about because there was acute shortage of skilled labor after the Second World War. And the Second World War devastated most of the European countries in terms of their capability to produce anything thereafter. And they were really in acute shortage of skills, of youth or the people with skills. And they decided that there should be a platform which will encourage the skilled people to come together and even create world benchmarks for skills. So in 1949, the World Skills took some shape in 1949 in Spain. But the formal getting together on a meet was in 1950. And thereafter, it has grown into having now last competition in 2015 in Sao Paulo was having about 1,200 competitors from 60 countries. And they had great participation in almost all sections of the World Skills competition. But there is something very interesting that most of the countries which became members of the World Skills, if you really look at their history, in their manufacturing industry or in other industries, their growth has been rapid. Whereas the countries which really came very late into the World Skills Forum, like India, which came only a member in 2006-07, the progress has been rather relatively very slow and not comparable to the some of the other competitors which became members earlier. For example, if you take some statistics of who became a member when, it is interesting that India became member much later. When did India become a member? For example, India had joined the World Skills only in 2006-07, while our competitors had joined the system much earlier. For example, Malaysia joined in 1962. South Korea joined. South Korean example is very important. It joined in 1966. USA joined in 1973. Macau, China, joined in 1993. And Singapore had joined in 1993. And Hong Kong, China joined in 1997. And evidence suggests that, Korea, for example, after the shoddy goods production in the early 80s, they have become global leaders in white goods, for example. India herself consumes more white goods from Korea than any other country. So obviously they have overcome the shoddy goods manufacturing and became a quality manufacturer, mainly because the skill levels of that country went up dramatically. And this is one indication that India probably delayed joining the World Skills. It should have joined much earlier because we did not place sufficient interest on skilling of the population, because skilling of the population results in a skilled economy, and the skilled economy then contributes to the increased GDP. For example, there is very clear evidence that out of the countries which has really joined this competition, most of the countries which advanced into producing better products came, for example, USA or Taiwan or countries in China. Chinese manufacturing is a clear example how they joined this bandwagon much earlier than India and strengthened their manufacturing. The point which I wanted to say was that the competitions which India could have really done better or much more stronger performance did not happen mainly because we are a slow starter, we are a late starter. Let us look at fashion technology, for example. Fashion technology, the first set of Indian competitors went in 2011 in London. And the World Skills Meet Indian participant, the contestant, got 451 points against the topper with 544 of Switzerland and 526 of China. So Switzerland and China had almost 100 points ahead of India in a subject in which already our fashion institutes have been existing since 1987, and we had produced a large number of graduates who are very capable people, but still our competition performance seemed to have been extremely poor. Then let us look at the last one, which is the last in Leipzig in 2013. In Leipzig, India's competitor got 447 points against the topper of Finland with 540 and of France 535. Again, Leipzig did not get us big results in terms of fashion technology. Last one, I had personally participated and seen how our people have been performing. In fact, it was the first time when the organization which I represent, the ATDC, had its contestant in Sao Paulo. Despite our best training, in Sao Paulo, India's representative got 492, which was a substantially improved performance from 451 points in London and 447 points in Leipzig. 492 in Sao Paulo was an extremely better performance. However, the Chinese Taipei got 537 and Brazil, the host country, got 535. So which shows that the competition levels of not only this in plastic dye engineering, welding, beauty therapy, prototype modeling, hairdressing, graphic designing, bricklaying, in several competitions where India participated, we did not really do that well, and we got some medallions, but that is not medals. Medals really create the kind of world benchmark. Medallions are more like consolation prizes for good participation. So that is not something on which our country, with a population of 125 crores, can take consolation that we got some medallions. Now let us look at how these competitions are structured. There are only 6 heads. All the skills in the world are grouped into 6 heads. Manufacturing and engineering, technology, that is one major large head in which you have a large number of skills are grouped together. Very interestingly, creative arts and fashion, including visual merchandising, everything falls in another category. Information and communication technology, construction and building technology, transport and logistics, social and personal services, like beauty, therapy and bakery, and all these services are grouped in some of these personal services. Now when you look at the arena, you will be surprised that the kind of layout which Sao Paulo had, if you can see some from this camera, it is a very, very huge arena. When you walk through, it is unending levels, because each participant is given sufficient space, for example, for landscaping or for making bricklaying or making a complete laying of your vitrified tiles. All kinds of competitions require large spaces, and when you want to register in any kind of this competition, you must be prepared to visualize and dream. The level of the competition is not what we assume. You can see that construction and building technology, there is space allocated, transportation, logistics, creative arts and fashion, social and personal services, and manufacturing and engineering technology, all information and communication technology, all have been identified through different colors and people are given adequate space and all the facilities, including automobile, very huge space for just paint shop of cars, for example. It's a very huge area, or just computer website designing, or visual merchandising, huge showroom space, or space for people to display various articles are given. So the competition itself is a great experience. One of the reasons why Brazil, the host country, for example, made a very elaborate plan for bringing to my estimation, over 100,000 children in the space of this 3 or 4 days of competition. Based